We are the UCSB Middle East Ensemble. This is the beginning of our 29th year. It is our tradition to start by recognizing Sue Rudnicki, the leader of our drum section. The leader for 29 years, Sue Rudnicki. Again, as is our tradition, we are multi-generational, and we often take this moment to recognize our seniors here, and then we try to recognize our juniors here. And I'd like to recognize Shirley Force. Shirley's been our tambourine percussionist especially for our chorus, for over 20 years. She's been in the ensemble all this time. Shirley Force. And Vula Aldrich has been in many sections. Vula has taught Greek language on campus for many years. She is our Greek language teacher when we do songs in Greek. This is Vula Aldrich. And then our youngest this time is the return Doris Grippo. So Doris, he's getting older now. Now he's 12. So he's been in the ensemble for, I think, 3 years now, I think. And his brother Rafa. And sitting next to Rafa is Nima. So these two guys are 15. They're 15. And I'd like to recognize the father of Doris and Rafa, Jim Grippo. We have a very special occasion here, which is that because of the efforts of one of our great friends, we are being videoed by TV Santa Barbara for broadcast on Channel 17 and another channel. And we'd like to thank the woman who made this happen. This is Carol Katz. Carol, are you here? Carol Katsuleas. Carol, are you here? We've been doing this for a good while, and Carol just decided that we should be videoed and put on public access. And she worked, and she made it happen solely, single-handedly. Actually, with one of her friends, one of her companions, Laurel. So we thank Carol very much. I want to bring this back to her. Where are you? There you are. We are, as always, we present music from throughout the Middle East. We do music. We're going to have music from Arab culture, from Persian culture, from Greek culture, from Armenian culture, and we have a dance troupe. But very specially tonight, we have Isabel Bayrakdarian, one of the great singers in our department, joining us. She'll be here in a sec. She'll come on the stage. So we're absolutely thrilled to be working with her. We're going to start with a set that was brought to us by our graduate student, Jared Holton. I'd like to ask Jared to come out. Jared.
So you have some program notes, but I thought I'd just say a few highlights because I know there may not have been enough programs for everyone. So we are going to present first 3 songs, art songs, from a Libyan recording. And all 3 of these are in muwashah genre, which is a type of poetic genre. And if you look at the song texts in the second half of the program, where there's the Arabic and the transliteration and also the translation, English translation. If you look at the transliteration, or if you look at the Arabic, you'll see that the muwashah have an end rhyme pattern. And this really distinguishes this genre. It was created in Al-Andalus in the 9th to 11th centuries, and it really exploded from there across the region. And by the 13th century, not only Arabic was being used, but muwashah in Hebrew, in Romance languages, all the way in Persian as well, were being created. So we're going to sing 3 of them together without stop. And there are 2 transitions then between these 3. So I thought I'd say a few points to be listening for. Okay, the first transition is going to be like a major slowdown. The percussion is going to drop out, and then the ensemble with me will play slower notes, longer notes, half notes, 2-count notes. And that will be a brief transition to get us into Malelkaset, the second song. Now, between the second and the third song, it's very fast. It's a rhythmic change. And it's a rhythm called Masmudi. Why don't we play this? This is the rhythm. So there's about 8 counts, 16 counts. We do that twice. And that's the transition between the second and the third art song. So just to help you as you're listening to these 3 tonight. So we are basically covering a 1965 Libyan recording of these 3 songs by Hassan Arabi and a Libyan ensemble. So, yes. Hassan Arabi passed away in 2009. He's no longer with us, but he is considered the father, really, of modern Libyan traditional music, the way he modernized it and the way he broadcasted it, starting in the 60s and onward. And it's a real pleasure to play these. So we're talking about Libya, south of Italy, west of Egypt, east of Morocco, Tunisia, okay? In Tripoli. This was the base where Hassan Arabi and the ensemble of Maluf, Muwashahat, and Arab melodies played, starting in the early 60s. And I want to particularly thank, I was there for about 5 years teaching and playing music before and after the 2011 revolution. And I just want to publicly thank my teachers, Dr. Omar Rabti and Sheikh Batlul, 2 revered, renowned musicians in Tripoli. Omar is no longer with us, but Sheikh Batlul continues to play and to sing in Tripoli and is well known for creating new songs and for keeping alive this rich tradition. And I also want to say a big thank you to my Habibti Catherine tonight, and she is here. Yes, can you stand up for us, please? Aww. You'll know why. So we are expecting within weeks, if not days. And so many hours that I have been spending transcribing and rehearsing this music, you know, I probably should have been doing other things. So I have a long list of to-do tomorrow. But I wanted to publicly say thank you to her. So enjoy.
Jared Holton. Jared. Jared, very, very beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. So we are, of course, thrilled to have a dance troupe. It is a great joy, an ongoing joy. And we will right now do the first of a number of dances. This is a Greek dance, and as I mentioned earlier, Vula is our teacher of Greek language. We're asking her here to be our vocalist also, along with the chorus. Please welcome Vula also. Vula, Vula Aldrich. So we have the greatest pleasure to work with one of the many superstars in the music department, the wonderful singer Isabel Bayrakdarian. Please welcome Isabel Bayrakdarian.
Now he tells me I need to introduce the pieces. The first song is Erzurumi Shoror. To be honest, when Scott suggested that I sing this, I knew of this as only as a dance. And it was only when I looked at the poetry. And in my mind and in my soul, it all made sense. And I started to cry. It's just so tender, so beautiful. It encapsulates the simplicity and the innocence of folk life, how it was a centuries ago. So this is Erzurumi Shoror. The next two songs were sung by the very famous Lebanese singer Fairuz. This one, Atini Nay, it's based on the poetry of Khalil Gibran. Of course, he's the poet of the Prophet. I absolutely love the poetry. It's written in Old Arabic, not modern Arabic. Just to give you an idea, the first verse and the second stanza, I'm just going to give me the flute and sing, because singing is the secret of existence, and the sound of the flute remains after the end of existence. And then towards the end, he says, give me the flute and sing, forget disease and medication, because people are only lines written with water. Right? We come and go. But so reading poetry like this and singing music like this makes me feel incredibly blessed that I sing for a living, that I continue guiding the next generation to sing their heart out, literally, to express themselves with all our different mosaic. We all come with different backgrounds, and the trick to communicating is vulnerability, of course, exposing your flaws, because that really what makes you stand out and special. But it doesn't always have to be flaws, you know. It could just be interesting. But so this one, it gives me great pleasure to sing this. I grew up listening to Fairuz. You know, I was born in Lebanon right when the Civil War started. When my family speaks about Lebanon, the older generation, I didn't see that. I only saw shelters where we used to go when bombing used to start. I only know snipers. I only know about car bombs affecting directly my neighborhood and friends and family. But I know those who have lived before the war and those who have lived after the war. There's something that draws you to that country, whether it's its history, its people, but the land is magical there. And I remember often listening to Fairuz. She almost calmed us down. Her music, especially the third song that I'm going to be singing after this, it encapsulated the trauma and zeitgeist of the people. And she wasn't afraid to comment on the current social events and the current political events through her music. So, but this one first is Atini Nay.
So let me just remind you all. So this is songs by the singer Fairuz, right? So this is one of her most famous songs, and this is a song. It's an absolute delight for a singer to sing. I think this is a great, great opportunity we have here to hear the song from Isabel. What a wonderful opportunity. Atani Inai.
Third Fairuz song, as I mentioned earlier, it encapsulates Lebanon right in the middle of its civil war. The singer very openly is singing about there being cannons in the street, bullets flying around, but and you know, there's a phenomena where during a war, often people are displaced. When displacement happens, you leave without willing. So you leave a lot of memories, a lot of family, a lot of friends behind. And there's always this yearning to come back. And the Lebanese are famous for that, actually. You leave Lebanon, but Lebanon never leaves you, it seems, from every Lebanese that I've met. You know, it mentions the person is actually yearning for the days when they had traffic. You know, when you have traffic, you complain. But actually, right now, she's saying, oh, I miss the traffic because there's no more traffic in the street. It's deserted. And then she mentions how she is afraid to come back the second year because when she comes back, she sees her own house destroyed, the rose garden non-existent, and she's even afraid to ask where her neighbors are, what happened to them. So I believe, even as a child, when I was listening to these, of course children are a bit oblivious, but that her voice, Fairuz's voice, Fairuz's interpretation, and these words really helped us heal, helped us deal with the reality. We didn't really shield ourselves from it. We lived it. This trauma of war, she was able to help the people move along and give us hope. So I'm Yahwa Beirut. The singer is yearning for the breeze of Beirut, you know. And I think after living in Santa Barbara for a while, I yearn the breeze of Santa Barbara whenever I leave here. So I can imagine how they felt if they were born and raised in Lebanon. So this is Yahwa Beirut.
We will have Isabel back in a few minutes. So the other part of Isabel's world is that she is from an Armenian family, and we thought we would recognize this with an Armenian dance. You might know that Armenian culture is sort of split in the middle, and that if you are from Anatolia, the lands of Anatolia, which is present-day Turkey, then you are, in a sense, a Middle Eastern Armenian. But if you lived in what became the former Soviet Republic, this actually, because of the Soviet Union, became a Europeanized sense of Armenian culture. And so if you lived in Turkey, you might play these in-between notes, notes that are not of Western music. If you lived in the lands of modern-day Turkey, and you might use rhythmic modes that are Middle Eastern modes. But if you lived in Eastern or Soviet Armenia, you were taught to sing in a Western voice. You were taught to use just the notes of Western music. And we'd like to do this dance from Eastern Armenia. So Eastern Armenia, actually the culture is Western, all right? Because it was part of the Soviet Union. And so you're going to hear a very Westernized piece of music with Western harmony. This is traditional music from now the independent country of Armenia, an Armenian dance. We have a special treat here. We'd like to bring back Isabel. Isabel Bayrakdarian. Isabel.
Fairuz was famous for a children's song, Tik 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 Yam Sulaiman. And I heard it as a child. And let me do a little bit of introduction. My son Ari, my daughter Leah, Iyad, Ahmed Reda, as well as Kinda Ahmed Reda. They're the children of Professor Ahmed here at UCSB, as well as they happen to be friends at grade 4 at Isla Vista Elementary. Yeah, small world. Grade 8, grade 2, second grade, and pre-K. So, yeah. So I grew up listening my mom sing this, and I loved that when Ari was very small, my mom sang it to him. So now I sing it to him, I sing it to her. So they knew this. So when this opportunity came to sing it, I said, I want to sing this and I want to bring them on stage. This is their debut on stage. Okay. Oh. So, Tik 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 Yam Sulaiman. Let's see how it goes. Ready? Yes. Tik 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 yam Sulaiman, tik 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 jawzك وين كان, tik 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 yam بالحالي, عم يدوب خوخ ورمان.
Tik 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 yam Sulaiman, tik 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 jawzك وين كان, tik 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 yam بالحالي, عم يدوب خوخ ورمان.
يا ست بتدور شوف القمر كيف بيدور, والنار نورها بدها الشمس والشمس بعقد المرجان.
Tik 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 yam Sulaiman, tik 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 jawzك وين كان, tik 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 yam بالحالي, عم يدوب خوخ ورمان.
عمي يا عمي الحطاب خلينا نلعب على الباب, والجارة بدها قمحة والقمحة عند الطحان. تك 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 يا
Sulaiman, tik 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 jawzك وين كان, tik 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 yam بالحالي, عم يدوب خوخ ورمان.
يا جدي يا جد الثلج لحليتك خطب على المرج, والهوا بده خيمة والخيمة بدها حيطان.
Tik 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 yam Sulaiman, tik 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 jawzك وين كان, tik 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 yam بالحالي, عم يدوب خوخ ورمان.
وين الجمال؟
ياخد المنرة
شو طعمناهم؟
عم خضرة
وشو سقيناهم؟
مي مطرة
يا عم الغراب.
جوز الغاب.
تك تك يا Sulaiman,
تك تك جوزك وين كان, تك 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 يم بالحالي, عم يدوب خوخ ورمان.
We'd like to sing the song again, if you don't mind. So the words of the song are, they're asking the mother of Suleiman, where is your husband? And she says he's out in the fields, and he's out picking fruit. He's out picking plums and pomegranates. Catch this, picking plums and pomegranates, plums and pomegranates. This is what's happening here. You can gesticulate with us, clap with us. You clap 3 times, and then clap 3 times, and then clap another 3 times. And then you pick the plums and the pomegranate, the plums and the pomegranate. Okay, this one's yours. Here we go. We'll turn the camera on you guys. Okay, let's try it again.
تك 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 يا ام سليمان، تك 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 جوزك وين كان، تك 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 يا ام الحالي وعم يرضى خوف ورمان. يا ستي يا سبنتور شوف القمر كيف بيدور، والناطورة بدها شمس والشمس معبية مرجان. عمي يا عمي الحطاب خلينا نلعب عالباب، والجارة بدها قمحة والقمحة عند الطحان. تك تك يا ابو سليمان، تك 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 جوزك وين كان، تك 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 جنب الحقلي عم يقذف فوق الرمان. يا جدي يا جد الثلج رحلينا تغطى بحالمرج، والهوا بدها خيمة والخيمة بدها حيطان.
تك تك يا ام سليمان، تك تك جنبك ينكان، تك 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 جنب الهولة
وين الجمال؟
يعني الرجل
شو طعمناهن؟
الخضراء
وشو سقيناهن؟
مي وتراب
يا عم الغرام
جوز النبات.
تك تك يا ام سليمان،
جنبك ينكان، تك 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 جنب الهولة عم يقذف فوق الرمان.
This is Iyad. Iyad. This is Ari. This is Leah. And this is Kinda. And this is the mom, Isabel.
And for our last Fairuz song, this could be almost the national anthem of Lebanon. It's simply, the title is, I Love You, Lebanon. If you read it, I'm gonna translate it directly from the Arabic. If you're ever in doubt, February 14 comes along, Valentine's Day, you have no idea what to write in a card, take this poem, change Lebanon to the person that you love. And it's like, I love you from your north to your south. I love you however you are. I suffer for your love, but oh, how I love that suffering. If you leave me, then something is wrong with the world. Like it's incomprehensible. In your poorness, I love you. In your richness, I love you. So isn't it? And the person says, I swear that my heart is yours. One night at your door is more precious than 1 year somewhere else. And then, of course, it refers then, don't use this next stanza, it's more towards Lebanon and how much it has withstood the war, etc., and how people of Lebanon are very stubborn. But then it says, it switches back to the romantic, it says, I love you however you are, even if you're crazy, I love you. And even if we're separated by distance, the love we have for each other will bring us together. Oh, this is the best part. One grain of your sand is worth more than all the treasures of the world. Now, don't say that ground grain of your sand to the person, like, or maybe you can say one cell of your body is you know, or one fingernail, or, but and it says, you know, I love you, my country, Lebanon. Love it. So, حبك يا لبنان.
شمالك وجنوبك لسانك حبك غسان الغني شوق الغني حبك يا لبنان يا وطني.
مزروع الداير نار وبواريك كيف ما كنت بحبك بجنونك بحبك وإذا نحن تفرقنا في جمال حبك وحبي من ترابك بكنوز الدنيا وبحبك يا لبنان يا وطني
You know, we normally do our bows at the end of the concert, but I think these kids need to be taken home, maybe go to bed. So we'd like to bring them out here. We'd like to bring out our kids here. Can we bring out the youngest, Leah? And her brother, Ari. And Kinda. And Ian. And of course, Isabel Bayrakdarian. Thank you very much. We'd like to start by welcoming one of our teachers is here in the audience, the great Persian drummer, Siamak Puyan. Siamak, are you here? Siamak Puyan. Thank you very much for coming. Siamak has performed with us many, many times in the past, as long ago as 20 years ago. He's performed in this hall many, many times. He teaches on campus with some regularity in, is it called recreation services? He teaches the Persian tombek, this drum right there that Sue's picking up. We would like to start with a song by the superstar Egyptian singer Kulthum. And I'd like to ask Nick, sitting next to me here, to introduce this song. Please welcome Nick Ragib.
So I'm really, really excited about this piece that we're going to share with you next. This was a bit of a project for me. I transcribed this piece originally that we're doing tonight with the ensemble. As many of you guys know, of course, they've used written musical notation in the Arab world for many, many decades, but there's still a strong tradition of much of this music being passed on orally as well. And if some of you know the great singer Kulthum, you know that she always preferred her musicians to learn the music by ear. And so when we perform these pieces, often one of the things we have to do is go through the recordings and notate everything out for us to perform it as a group. So this piece tonight, I actually transcribed because I talked to our singer tonight. So we're going to be honored here to perform with an Egyptian singer, Sarah Salim, who's going to be singing with us. She is a student here at UCSB, and she has a beautiful voice, and she's going to be singing the song that originally was performed by Kulthum. This piece, Yam Saharni, was originally composed, it was composed by the blind sheikh Sayyid Makawi, who some of you, if you know Egyptian music, may know his most famous work, Al-Layla al-Kabira, which is a famous operetta performed with puppets about a mulid. These are the sort of commemorations of the births of saints, and it's a very well-known and beloved piece of music and theater in Egypt. But this piece itself, he composed for Kulthum at the very, very end of her career. So she passed away in the 1970s, and I believe this was 1 or maybe 2 years before she passed away, this collaboration happened. So Kulthum, she's, she had a long, long, illustrious career. Since really the 1920s, she was performing, and for decades and decades, she was the most famous singer across the Arabic-speaking world. And she had many really exciting collaborations near the end of her career. I think the best known was Enta Umri with the great composer Muhammad Abdul Wahab. But this piece with Sayyid Makawi was another sort of real treasure near the end of her career that she performed. And the piece, the line, the title itself, Yam Saharni, is basically an exclamation in Arabic, speaking to someone saying, "Oh, you who keeps me up at night, oh, you who insomniates me, oh, you who is basically the reason I cannot sleep." And of course, many of the songs in this tradition, this ughniya or long song tradition, what people sometimes call tarab music, are about love. But of course, there are many different kinds of love, right? There is the joy of love, and in this case, in this piece, this is about unrequited love. So in this piece, the person is singing to their beloved, someone who loves them, and they say, "Ma khatartish ala balik yom tisal anni," which means, "Oh, you who I love, oh, you who keeps me up at night, I never cross your mind." And this is really the sentiment of the piece. This is someone singing to someone who just drives them nuts, right? They're so madly in love with them, but this person doesn't even give them a thought. So just to give you a sense of the kind of sentiment of the piece, and it's really beautiful poetry expressing this kind of anguish that someone feels for a target of their affection. So with that, I would just also say very quickly, in this style of piece, if you're not familiar with it, it's quite common in these pieces when you would watch these videos. If some of you have seen these old videos of Kulthum, when she would perform these pieces, she would go through a quite long section of music, and the audience, of course, would just so adore her and so adore the beautiful music. They would erupt in applause. They would drown out the orchestra, and the orchestra would stop, and they would go back, and they'd start the piece over again. They really would do this. This was quite common, right? And this was expected. This was a wonderful thing, because it was not, it wasn't that the orchestra was saying, "Oh, you know, we want quiet, we need to keep doing this in silence." They said, "We want your applause," right? They really soaked this up, and they said, "Oh, you know, that piece was so beautiful. Let's start it over again, because we all want to hear it again." So you're going to hear a few of these kinds of repeats. We're going to work these in, and I'd really love it if you guys could just show us the same affection, right? This same kind of reaction, and give us that excuse to really give you this beautiful music over and over again. So with that being said, this will be quite a long instrumental introduction, as was the case for the sort of later era of these types of pieces. You're going to hear solos from a number of different instruments. From Jim on the qanun, from Michelle on the accordion, from Solmaz on the violin as well. Scott and I are going to play a little Nai piece as well, very briefly inside that introduction. So you'll hear all these different things going on, and then after this sort of lengthy instrumental introduction, we'll have Sarah come out and grace us with her presence and her beautiful voice to give you this whole introductory part. We're not going to do the whole 45-minute song, unfortunately, but we'll give you hopefully a wonderful sort of chunk of this piece of music with Sarah Salim singing for us tonight. Thank you very much.
This is Nick Ragin.
ما خطرتش على بالك يوم تسأل عني ما خطرتش على بالك يوم تسأل عني ما خطرتش على بالك يوم تسأل عني وعنايا مجفيها النوم يا مسهرني ده انا قلبي بيسألني ايه غير احوالي ويقول لي بقى يعني ما خطرتش على باله على باله ده انا قلبي بيسألني ايه غير احوالي ويقول لي بقى يعني ما خطرتش على باله أمال غلاوة حبك فين وفين حنان قلبه عليا وفين حلاوة قربك فين الوداد والحنية أمال غلاوة حبك فين وفين حنان قلبه عليا وفين حلاوة قربك فين الوداد والحنية يا ناسيني وانت على بالي وخيالك ما يفارق عيني يا ناسيني وانت على بالي وخيالك ما يفارق عيني ريح واعطف على حالي وارحمني من كتر ظنوني يا ناسيني وانت على بالي وخيالك يا عيني يا ناسيني وانت على بالي وخيالك ما يفارق عيني ريح واعطف على حالي وارحمني من كتر ظنوني لا عليا بيهوى النوم ولا بخطر على بالك يوم لا عليا بيهوى النوم ولا بخطر على بالك يوم اسأل عني يا مسهرني ما خطرتش على بالك يوم تسأل عني ما خطرتش على بالك يوم تسأل عني ما خطرتش على بالك يوم تسأل عني وعنايا مجفيها النوم
Sally. Sarah, Sally.
This was absolutely beautiful. Mashallah, mashallah. We thank Sarah. Sarah is an undergrad student here on campus. And we thank Nick. Nick is a grad student here on campus. We thank the both of you. Amazing. We'd like to thank all of our soloists in this set we just did. This was Solmaz on violin. This was Michelle accordion. This was Nick on nai. Nick on nai. And Jim Grippo on canoe. We are going to do a double thing here. We're going to do Persian music, and we'd like to work towards a dance. But before we do the dance, we'd like to ask our one of the founding members of our group, Kharosh Hakigat Kish, to do a solo on the santur, accompanied by Sue Rudnicki on the Persian drum called the tombek. This group was founded in 1989, and Kourosh was one of the original members of the group, as was Sue. These people have been around the block. Kurosh, give it peace. Sue on the trumpet. Sue. I must say that I should take a moment to say that we learned dances from a great number of sources. The very first dance we performed tonight was a choreography of our own Alexandra King. Alexandra, are you here? Alexandra was the director of our dance troupe from its founding in '89 until 2010. And she's choreographed many of the pieces that we perform. And our second dance was choreographed by one of the really famous, one of the superstar Armenian dancers and choreographers and researchers of Armenian dance, Tom Bozigian. And this dance here was choreographed by a very, very well-known dancer and choreographer, dance teacher. She has her own dance troupe up in the Bay Area. This is Shazi Korsandi, Shahrazad Korsandi. Please welcome our dancers as we do a wedding dance called Tarame. Tarame refers to fabric that is ornamented. Kurosh points out that he has this Tarame fabric at the base of his instrument here, the santur. You might notice the 3 examples of Tarame fabric that we have in the printed program. This piece is called Tarame. Please welcome Dr. Andrea Fishman. Andrea.
I'm going to sing a Sephardic song. Sephardic refers to the Jews who lived in Spain for many centuries, and during the Spanish Inquisition, the Muslims and Jews had to either convert to Catholicism or martyr themselves for their faith or leave. And most of the Jewish population of Spain, the Sephardim, and the Muslims went to the Ottoman Empire. And of course, they brought with them the language, which was Spanish, like an old Spanish that they'd been speaking for many centuries, called Ladino or Judeo-Espanol, which is the language I'll be singing in. And they also brought with them their songs, wedding songs, songs celebrating births and circumcisions, and songs about love and marriage and mourning. Many of the Sephardic love songs are rather playful and humorous, and this is one of those songs, Buenas noches, Hanum Dudu. There's a man, a gentleman, who's singing to Mrs. Dudu, and he says, please let me up into your room, keep your windows open and the candle lit. And we have a feeling, as the song progresses, that the gentleman singing to Mrs. Dudu is not her husband. It's not Mr. Dudu. It's some other admirer. And so it's this sort of playful love song that's very characteristic of many Sephardic folk songs that have to do with love.
Stiri
Andrea Fishman. Next, we'd like Sam to come out. Sam Qatar, Salam. We are going to do one of the most famous songs, one of the many most famous songs by the singer Farid Al-Atrash. Those of you who are in Hind Dwight's class, this is one that we all sang together. We want you to sing along for the refrain. Farid Al-Atrash was he was from a community of Druze. Druze is a social and religious community that is centered largely in Syria, Lebanon, in the border region there. There's a mountain called Mountain of the Druze. And there was a time in the 20s, I believe, or was it the 30s? In the 30s, we have it in the program, when he and his mother and his sister, they came to Cairo, and they were very quickly picked up as some of the main artists in the culture in Cairo at the time. And he and his sister Farid and his sister Esmahan became movie stars. He was in 31 different movies, always as a singer and a composer. He has hundreds and hundreds of songs, and we'd like to ask Sam to present for us here one of his most famous songs. I want to point out that one of the things that happened in Farid's songs was the song is going along, and then he would just stop the song and do a vocal improvisation called the mawal. And we're going to ask Sam to present a version of one of Farid's most famous mawals. I think you will find that it's just an exquisite moment of Arab music. And then, having stepped away from the song and done this improvisation, then with just a thrilling moment, we go back to the song and conclude the song. So it'll be very obvious when this happens, the rhythm will stop, and you'll hear a vocal improvisation. Please welcome Sam Qatar. Salam.
حبينا حبينا حبيناكي حبينا 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 حبيناكي حبينا لو ما حبينا عيونك لو ما حبينا عيونك ما تعذبنا ولا لجينا حبينا حبينا حبيناكي حبينا 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 حبيناكي حبينا لو ما حبينا عيونك لو ما حبينا عيونك ما تعذبنا ولا لجينا وانا بالحب وانا وعدرب الهوى دعنا وانا بالحب وانا وعدرب الهوى دعنا وياما وياما تلوعنا ياما وياما تلوعنا ياما وراكي مشينا وحبينا حبينا حبيناكي حبينا 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 لجينا وحياتك من ضح الروح مش ممكن بالسر نبوح وحياتك من ضح الروح مش ممكن بالسر نبوح مطرح ما بدك بالروح مطرح ما بدك بالروح يا ماما ودينا وحبينا حبينا حبينا حبيناكي حبينا لو ما حبينا عيوني لو ما حبينا عيوني ما تعذبنا ولا لقينا يا للغني الحب بعده بأوله خلي الحبايب يتقلوا ويتدللوا يا للغني الحب بعده بأوله خلي الحبايب يتقلوا ويتدللوا يا حلوة الحلوين حبي وسهري ده الحب بين الناس ده الحب بين الناس الله الله محلله يا ليل حبيناكي من زمان يا زهرة على غصن البال حبيناكي من زمان يا زهرة على غصن البال حلي على القلب الولهان حلي على القلب الولهان يا حلو توصي فينا حبينا حبينا حبيناكي حبينا 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 حبيناكي حبينا لو ما حبينا عيونك حبينا عيونك ما تعذبنا ولا تعذبنا ولا ما تعذبنا ولا
Eyvallah.
حبينا حبيناكي حبينا 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 حبيناكي حبينا لا ما حبينا عيونك لا ما حبينا عيونك ما تعذبنا ولا ما تعذبنا ولا ما تعذبنا ولا
Oh, sad. Oh, sad. So many of you who've been here before know that I play this instrument here called a mizmar. A mizmar is a double reed instrument that's used especially for outdoor festivities, especially weddings, of course, but also birthdays, for festivals for the pilgrimage. There are many, many reasons why people want to celebrate. And in the villages, they celebrate with the mizmar. Historically, mizmars, they come in different sizes. There are different traditions in Egypt of mizmar playing. This mizmar is from the eastern province in northeastern Egypt. This is called the Sharqiya. So this is a Sharqiya mizmar. Of all the mizmars, there's a mizmar in the south called the Saidi mizmar. And there's a mizmar in the bottom of the delta. And that mizmar is called the mizmar of the Aulad Hindi. And, but of the three, this mizmar is by far the loudest. Yeah. And so it's almost obnoxiously loud. Yeah. But, and when it's performed with three mizmars together. And without amplification, it's loud enough so you could have 300 or 400 people at your wedding all partying. And everyone very, very clearly hears the mizmars. Traditionally, it's performed with 2 percussion instruments and 3 mizmars. But when the film industry came on, and with such great fame, they decided they wanted all these moments where they had folk music in the film And so this the village tradition was brought to the city, and it was an urban tradition of this folk music. And we're going to perform one of the famous examples of this, the song Luxor Beledna. Interesting, Luxor Beledna is a song about how wonderful it is to be a tourist in the city of Luxor in southern Egypt. Luxor is one of the great centers of pharaonic ruins. And so in this film, where this came from, the most famous, the National Folk Dance Troupe, everyone based in Cairo, and these were very famous people because there was a national folk troupe. They, as a group, decided that they would all go south to Luxor, and they made a movie about this, and they gave them a love interest. And there was a moment when they went down to Luxor, and they were parading around the city as tourists, and they were in these horse-drawn carriages, and they just started singing and dancing. This is that very moment. This film is so important for Egyptian culture, the government would continually play it in national holidays, on festival days, usually on Thursday night on TV. So anyone who grew up in the 60s, 70s, in the 80s, and the 90s, and is Egyptian, everyone knows this song. So it's extremely famous, the song about how wonderful it is to be a tourist in Luxor. The song Luxor Beledna. We're going to end with the song. Please welcome our dancers as we do this. This is, if I can get this to play correctly, I'm going to be playing this instrument called a mizmar. And Richard here has a small version of the same instrument.
وكل عقد المروة بتبقى مش عايزة تروى وتسيب بلدنا ننصر بلدنا بلد سوا فيها الأجانب تتفسح وكل عام وقت المروة بتبقى مش عايزة تروى وتسيب بلدنا ويلا مختار يا اسطى ده المبسوطين اخر بسطة ارضها مختار يا اسطى ده المبسوطين اخر بسطة ولف بينا اجمل مدينة ولف بينا اجمل مدينة مش برضو منها نعمل واسطة نرد لك الأفراح ومهما تبعد وتروح برضو في بلدنا نصر بلدنا وبالزوار فيها الأجانب بتتفسح وكل عام وقت المروة بتبقى مش عايزة تروح وتسيب بلدنا زور بلدنا على الخرطة يتحط من تحتها شرطة نزور بلدنا على الخرطة يتحط من تحتها شرطة شايفين مكانها ما بين جيرانها شايفين مكانها ما بين جيرانها زي الشموع حوالين ترتاح والشمس تطلع كل صباح بفرحة وبدمعة تروح لفراق بلدنا ونصر بلدنا نتسوى فيها الأجانب تتفسح وكل عام وقت المروة بتبقى مش عايزة تروح وتسيب بلدنا سوا فيها الأجانب تتفسح وكل عام وقت المروة بدنا مش عايزة تروى وتسيب بلدنا والله
We'd like to thank you all for hanging with us this evening. We'd like to thank a lot of people, including Sue and Dana, for helping out with the printed program. Sue and her husband Dana. And we thank Nan for helping out with all the song lyrics in the printed program. And we thank all of our stage managers. And we thank Rosie and Sven for the sound. And we'd like to go around the ensemble. We want to thank our oud section and our lauta section. And we'd like to thank our canoon section. And we'd like to thank our clarinet section. And our accordion. And our amazing violinists. And our cello. And our very happening chorus. Our chorus here. Our chorus there. Our chorus over here. And we'd like to thank our Nai section. And we'd like to thank Kurosh on Santor. We'd like to thank our tambourine section. And Shirley Force, our tambourine player in our chorus. We'd like to thank all of our flame drummers. Flame drummers. And our Persian drummers. We'd like to thank Sue for all of her drumming. Sue. For her Armenian dahol. For her Persian tombek. For her Arabic and her tabla, her darbuka. We'd like to thank all of our drummers. And we'd like to thank all of our instrumental soloists, starting with Eric on the lauta, with Michelle on the accordion, with Solmaz on the violin, with Daniel on the violin.
All right.
And Jim Grippo on the canoe.
Oh, yeah.
Jim Grippo. We'd like to thank Kurosh for his Santor solo, and Sue for accompanying him on his Santor solo. And we'd like to, in their absence, thank our kids that performed with us, Ari and Leah, Iyad and Kinda.
All right.
And our vocal soloist, Andrea Fishman.
Yay.
Andrea, come out here, please. Kurosh, come out here, please. All of our soloists here. We'd like to thank Sarah for her vocal tune. We'd like to thank Sam Khatar. We'd like to thank Nick, our teacher for the Kulthum song. Nick. We'd like to thank all of our choreographers, Alexandra King, Tom Bozigian, Shazi Korsandi, and Chris Krasima. We'd like to thank Jared for giving us the whole Libyan set and solo vocalist. We'd like to thank Tonya Shamim for being the advisor of our dance troupe. Tonya. We'd like to thank our ensemble dancers, Munia, and Maddie, and Christy, and the director of our dance troupe, a choreographer of one of our dances, the always amazing Chris Basima. And we want to thank Isabel. My guess is she's not here now. Isabel, are you here? Isabel had to go home with her family. We'd like to thank Isabel for her wonderful, wonderful performance.
We'd like to give the biggest thanks to our director, Dr. Scott Marcus.
I believe it's March 10th. It's in our program. I believe it's a Saturday, March 10th, our next concert here. Check the program. Thank you very, very much for coming. Thank you so much. Thank you very, very much.
Company